Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. In this tutorial, I'll teach you how to color wool fabric using the Color Therapy app. This tutorial will cover several different ways you can draw stitches on a wool sweater or scarf. The pencil tool is your secret weapon as it is the perfect texture for this. So I found this reference of this cozy sweater. You can see that there's a whole bunch of different types of stitches going on here. We have these big V shapes here. There's little circles here and oval shapes. So I'm going to give her a light gray color for her sweater. So I'm just using a light gray from the basic palette, just tapping to fill that in. I'm going to zoom in here. And then under the shades of gray color, I'm just going to select the lightest gray and then open up the pencil tool, set the size to 24 and opacity at 80. I'm going to zoom into the sleeve right here, and using my finger, I'm just going to draw little circles stacked on top of each other vertically. I'm just going around a couple times, and I'm going to draw another layer of them right next to that. And they don't have to be perfect. And then continue doing that all throughout the sleeve. And now let's add in a little bit of shadow. So I'm selecting the third color on the second row under shades of gray. And I'm going to basically just trace one edge of those circles with my finger. So it's sort of making a bumpy little line around it. You do the same thing for the ones next to it and all around it. So that's one way to do a stitch. You also do want to do a little bit of shading on the cuff too. So I'm just going to raise the size a little bit, probably about to 70%, and just add a bit of a shadow here and there. And you can use the airbrush to do this too, if needed. Now let's move on down here and try another stitch. I'm going to keep the size at 70. And I'm just going to draw big triangles or upside down V's kind of stacked on each other. Going down the arm. And then I might lower the size down to, let's do 20%. And let's do some sort of large oval diamond shapes next to that for another stitch. And they're all just connected. And you can do that on the other side as well if you want. You can really just place these fun stitches anywhere you want. So you can have freedom with the type of pattern you want to apply, where and how big. And then I'll go back and do some shading, size 70 and opacity at 80 again. And I'm just sort of tracing around my stitches, adding in shadows. Now you can either use the pencil tool to shade around the cuff, or you can also use the airbrush tool as well. I would do about size 30 and opacity at 40%. And you can just add a little bit of shading using the airbrush tool if you'd like. You can also apply this to the scarf. So I'm going to just tap to fill it in with a sort of olive green from the Christmas palette. And this time, let's set the opacity at about 55% and the size at 88. And using that lightest gray from the Shades of Gray palette and coloring inside the lines mode set to on, just use your finger and just draw some streaks going vertically up and down across the scarf, going with the shape and movement of it as well. So these are really big, broad strokes, adding in that wool texture feel to it. And you can draw those small circles again, or you can make them medium. So I'm setting the size at 35% and the opacity at 80. And I'm just going to be drawing circles this time. And they're going down vertically. So you can decide if you want to make them really close together or kind of far apart. It's really up to you. To finish, add shadows like you normally would, and you've got a cozy knit wool sweater. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.